we are finally back for some Daytona Speed Weeks action. As you guys know, it is Speed Weeks here at Hennessy Performance League, and we have some exciting racing. We started things off with the Clash last night, and tonight we have not one, but two duels in store for you guys. And in the booth tonight, for the first time in quite some time, to get a chance to host this stream, to get a chance to be able to get involved back inside the broadcast booth. It is the number 8 Truck Series driver, Always Jake, and joining me will be B Brody. The first time myself and Brody have got a chance to get back to working together for quite some time, and I am very excited to get a chance to say that for Brody and myself that we are ready. We are excited because me and Brody, we started this ever since season 1. We go from the Xfinity series from season 1 all the way up to now to season 6 to get back in action. And I think I hear Brody now. Brody, it has been quite some time since me and you got a chance to do this together, buddy. Welcome back to the booth, and also I'm glad to get a chance to work with you again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure being up here with you. We haven't had a whole lot of opportunities since last season, but let's try to get back to broadcasting them Xfinity races.
Oh, especially with a lot of changes, being made after what happened with the draft. And of course, now we are very excited to say that we are back live and in living color. The Jake and Brody connection is back, and we are ready for our first race of the night, the Duel 1. And of course, not to mention is that we also have a couple of drivers from last night's Clash who will be competing tonight in either both race 1 or in race 2. And of course, the fan vote from the guys here at Hennessy. So let's go ahead and let's bring to you, we got a couple of guys I'll be racing here in race 1. Freedom Flyer, Mike G, Bean, I think YB Beta is out. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, Brody. Big Jim, Zmog, Dallin, Patton, Joker, Ghost, Tiger NASCAR, and last but certainly not least, the new owner of SHR, Mr. Captain Jack. Brody, I know you have some inside info as far as the drivers. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so you are right. YB and Jack will not be making tonight's race, sadly. But the drivers that you did mention, they are in Cup and they are racing in Duel 1. And we also have 4 drivers that race their way in for getting, I believe, a stage win, either a stage win or placing top 5 in the end of the Clash to race their way into the duels, and then racing against each other. Top 2 of these race-in drivers will get a spot into E500. So yeah. Racing in Duel 1 from those drivers is Killer, who got the fan vote, King Henry, Eric, and Speed.
And of course, from my standpoint of view, as far as last night's Clash, it was very wild. It was very aggressive, and of course, I did see Speed, Eric, and King Henry out there, and they looked so phenomenal. I mean, but the thing about this is that I think these drivers are on a high draft, and let me tell you, that high draft, it is not your best friend. I would just much rather stick to the low draft or just stick to the regular draft, but from my point of view, it's like when it comes to being out there on a high draft, it makes things so complicated, especially whenever you're trying to work with that person right in front of you. And just, I think there's a lot of things I learned from last night, and I really want to give my perspective on this, is patience. You have to have patience when it comes to being down to the bottom. There's a lot of drivers that's going to be running down to that bottom line, but Brody, you know this, though, is that there's going to be a couple of guys that are going to try to run that top side and try to get to the front.
Yeah, absolutely, and for the Cup drivers that are, racing in either duel, this is just qualifying for them. So they're going to be out, new teammates. They're going to be trying new things. They're going to be running that high side. They're going to be making it interesting all night long. So these, I love watching the duels just for that sole reason. When we get into the 500, everyone kind of trains around, but in the duels, people are trying things, and it's very exciting racing. So I'm very excited tonight.
I'm very excited about tonight too because not to mention is that you also mentioned you have a couple of drivers from both Xfinity and trucks. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. We got cups, we got trucks, we got Xfinity, and I'm sure enough that all the guys from Hendrick are going to be rooting for speed, and of course SHR for Jack, and I think Eric's from your team, man.
Yeah. Eric is in the Xfinity series here at Trackhouse.
Yeah, so pretty much you have a little bit of everything. So very excited to see, and of course, not to mention the boss man himself, Killer XL, who's going to be racing in the JGR car machine tonight. And of course, let us know down in the comments who do you guys see winning this duel because pretty much this is the setup for the Daytona 500. I mean, we're getting ready to start season 6 next week, I believe Monday, with the Xfinity series. Hard to believe that it's going to be on a prime time Monday night. So we can't wait for that. Can't wait for a lot of stuff that's to come. And by the way, if you guys are watching us right now and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and comment because we definitely do appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving us, and we cannot wait. So thank you everybody to sending us the invites. Brody, man, any final thoughts? Any final comments you want to say before we do get a chance to go live at Daytona?
Well, we're gonna see some very exciting racing tonight. I'm very excited for it. I do wanna question you. You
Yeah.
said Monday night. I believe it's still Thursday night
Okay.
racing for Xfinity and Cup, but the trucks will be on Wednesday, and you'll be in that series.
Yeah. Thanks to my great friend and my great owner and ball stick. So we're allowed to join. So yeah, let's go ahead and get things ready. If we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day and night to just get to join us here at Hennessy Performance League live on YouTube as we get set for the first race of the duels. Race 1 is coming up your way, and of course, not to mention that is that yes, the truck series are going to be starting next Wednesday, and of course, somebody told me a little fibber, so. Now the Xfinity and Cup Series doubleheader next Thursday. You guys do not want to miss out on that. It's gonna be a great time. I know Brody, you're excited about this. Season 6, you're an OG. A lot of great things to come for this league.
Absolutely. Jake, who's your pick?
As far as this bunch, oh man, I gotta say, I want to say McCart on this one. I think McCart is no, he's not. Oh man.
McCart's in this race.
Yeah, McCard's in his race. I gotta say McCard because he was really strong last night, and I feel like that he has a really great shot. But you see Freedom Flyer starting on the pole as we go green flag underway here at Daytona for Duel 1.
Already you see some
Oh
three
my!
wide.
Oh Lord! And Freedom's going to the back, and meanwhile, it is the 38 of Bean, my teammate, up there running alongside Mike G on the outside. There you see, and like I said before, Brody, you got that bottom line. Everybody's going to be running down to the bottom, but look at the 3. Look at Mike G. He's trying to get some help from the 48, and you see what the outside can do as that outside line is fading away. There you see Dallin right there. He's among those that are on the top side.
I believe Freedom, whatever he did at the beginning of the race, might have lost him the draft early in this race, and you see a car in the wall at the...
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, so...
Would be Allen in the wall.
Yeah, I think this is on high draft, so these drivers can, if they work together, they can get back up there with them. Meanwhile, it is all Roush right now. 1 and 2, or yeah, 1 and 2 as far as we're seeing it between Bean and I'm trying to get to it. Big Jim with a new different number getting drafted by Ballstick. Glad to get a chance to have him a part of Roush as he's going to be racing in the 34 this season.
As we see that second lane starting to form, looking, Joker's going to drop back down. Going to try to let the 77 in. That's going to be close.
Yeah, this is the one thing I mentioned it for, Brody, is that there's a lot of patience when it comes to this racetrack. You have to have a lot of patience. If you see somebody like the way Dallas C and Mike G just stuck on the outside, he needs to get down to the bottom so he can stay with this pack. Mike G to the wall!
Ooh.
He still got the draft, but that was some hard contact to the outside wall. Back to the front we go with Bean and Big Jim. And look at the 9. The 9 is trying to get down to the bottom. Who's going to join the 9 of McCard?
And look at this. They took him to the high side. That's what happens whenever you got your friends in the first 3.
This is incredible. And normally we see these drivers go down to the bottom, but yet they realized that if you go down to the bottom, some drivers are going to clip that apron, and for them to get loose or have a huge chaos.
I really like them running the high side. Shades of Dale Jr.
Oh man, if Dale Jr. was watching this, he would definitely give this race a 2 thumbs up.
Absolutely. Now Bean and Jim leading the field right here, you know, and it's crazy to think that they are now teammates. They are such good friends. You know, I've personally raced with both Jim and Bean on iRacing, and you know they're just a fun group of guys. So it's definitely good to see them do well.
I definitely do agree, and I think that's the reason why Ballstick wanted to have both Bean and Big Jim together. As we now see in the bottom line being run down, here comes Bean going down to the bottom in front of Zmog, trying to block it, trying to cover both lanes. Good job on Bean on trying to be able to get a chance to block the bottom from even having any sort of run. As now Big Jim's going to lead that top side. But as I was saying, is that, yeah, I definitely do agree. Ballstick made a huge game plan to have both the 38 and the 34 of Jim and Bean together. And I think if I was Ballstick and I'd be drinking, you know, Mountain Dew out of a Pittsburgh Steelers glass, he's liking what he's seeing.
It's just looking like right now that the top lane cannot go anywhere, and I'm not exactly sure if that's just because of high draft, you know, shortest way around the track. Is the bottom, so that just makes it quicker. I'm not exactly sure, but this top lane will not be able to roll, and you know, even with a wheel driver leading that top lane, it's just not working.
Yeah, and oh my god, that was so close from Bean, and yet Zmog's going to lose the draft, but yet he's got some help from the 6 of Dallin. Looks like the top side is getting more drivers, but the problem is, though, is that there's a lot more down to the bottom. We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on this little 4-car line you see here. It's getting split up so quick, so easily here. But meanwhile, let's get back to the front where we need to be. As we see Speed Racer down there in the 77. He is right there, right behind his teammate in McCard, running the 77. He's got himself a really good eye on what he could do, and if he can finish here in the top 5, he should have a shot at being a part of the Daytona 500 grid next Thursday.
Actually, I don't think McCart is in the race, but the 9 would be Ghost.
Oh, not Ghost, my bad. So you see how well I pay attention, but good job on the scheme, even though I can't drink any Mountain Dew anymore. So. So if Ghost, if you're rewatching this, my bad. And I know the fans are enjoying this now with the Jake and Brody connection here. Is that we're having ourselves a great time already. Do we have a lap counter?
You know, I was just now thinking about that. I'm not exactly sure who would be streaming tonight, but I will try to find you one.
Yeah, definitely for sure. As I know you're keeping a close eye on this because you're coming up next on Duel 2, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely, I'm definitely taking notes from these guys. You know, just from looking at it, and I think a couple of them are starting to drop back to try to save some gas. So definitely taking that into account.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I'm watching the 38 of Bean here, and yet he's going from different parts of the track, going up and down on the back straightaway. As we see Joker, Bean's going to lose this lead with the help of Joker from the 66, who is in the 66. And I got to look at that, and that is King Henry, who is pushing AlwaysJokerr to the front. Ghost and Speed Racer are running the top side, but look at the bottom. Look who's coming back, and that is the 38 of Bean, getting some help from Mike G, Zmog, the 95, Oh boy, this.
Oh, here comes King Henry. He's not affiliated with anyone.
No, he's not.
Oh,
Oh
we're gonna
boy.
try to squeeze him. 3 wide down the back.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is very bad. Very, very bad. Oh boy. Joker needs to get down to the back. He needs to get to the back immediately. The top side is trying to get some more drivers. Oh man. This is getting really dicey here, boys. Watch out. Oh my god, I thought the 66 was not clear down to the bottom.
And I do have a lap counter courtesy of Big Jim.
The GOAT himself. Alrighty. Oh man, Ghost he's stuck to the outside wall. Oh boy.
He's gonna lose the draft.
Yeah, he is. Bad night
Freedom.
for him and Freedom.
Yeah, Freedom is he's still hanging in there. I bet he's real bored, but I think he's only half a track's length in front of these guys, so he is in danger of going a lap down. But let's get a quick update on our transfer drivers. And
Boy! Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Oh boy, look at this.
Stage
right now.
1.
Stage 1. I don't know who won that. It was side by side between Z-Mog and King Henry. That was it was Z-Mog. That was a very close to the finish. So go ahead and give our updates as far as our transfers.
Our transfers right now, and I just want to be correct on the order. King Henry and Killer are leading the transfer group right now, being in second and third. And let's see, Eric and Speed are not in yet, but you know it's only stage 1. But Eric and Speed are in 7th and 9th.
So you best believe that we might see some aggressive side, especially when it comes to Speed and Eric. Especially, I don't know, if Henry can stay up there. And by the way, for our Freedom fans out there, he is now back for the grid, all the way down to last. But either way, though, as we do see, Dallin is going to be leading us back to the green flag back in the air here for stage number 2.
A little bit of strategy right there.
Yeah, that had been some sort of strategy. Z-Mog lost a couple of spots right there. And of course, King Henry is right behind Joker. Not to mention that King Henry is the defending Truck Series champion. Oh boy.
Oh, why do I think Alan's on controller? Why do I think Alan's on controller?
In the famous words of one of my favorite bands, Beartooth, you never know till you know.
Yep.
Oh boy. Henry's trying to stay on the outside. This could be a bit difficult, especially when we have a huge pack on the outside.
He had to lift right there.
Yeah, he had to. If there was no way. There was no way. Some of these drivers have to lift if you're on the outside. As Henry makes a very huge move going down to the bottom, leaving AlwaysJokerr having some help from Tiger NASCAR on the outside. Looks like Jim, and I think the 16 of Always Eric.
Oh, and Z-Mog's gonna get shuffled out of line.
Yeah, there was no way, there's no place he can go, and I kind of hate that little camera angle when we go to the back straightaway, and of course the logo blocks it. Oh my God, what just happened? Oh, Z-Mog spun around. There's no more drivers in it, but yet they still saved it, and they're still going.
That had to have been lag.
That had to have been. I don't know what just happened between Z-Mog right there, but yet these drivers are going to have to work together to get back to the front. Eric, Mike G, Tiger NASCAR, and Z-Mog. Tough break for the 22 there.
Yeah, and he's got some heavy damage on his front end.
Oh, Ghost! Contact between him and Big Jim.
You know, usually Duel 1 is the non-eventful one, and Duel 2 just, you know, brings the worst out in people. But, you know, we're really seeing kind of a mix right here, you know. We're seeing a lot of action.
I'm telling you, this is something I said before we went live here, is that it's always about patience. You've got to have patience before the conclusion of this race. Even just the conclusion of the stages. You have to chill. I understand you want to make a move, but it's not worth it.
You see the 77's backing up for a run.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is for sure. As let me check out some of my comments real
There he
quick.
goes.
From what Papa Musso says, that it looks like the 66 hit a glitch with what happened with the 22 there. So I think that could have happened. I didn't think about the glitches. Oh boy, the contact between the 66 and the 10. But as I was saying, the glitches that happened right there at the end of 2 and at the start of 3. These drivers are being very cautious and they need to be careful.
Yeah, and I believe that top line would have worked if they all would have stuck together.
I definitely do
Now
agree.
Joker. Oh,
Is that
someone got
Killer?
hooked to the bumper. Yep. Killer got shuffled out
Oh,
of line.
look at Joker!
Ooh. That's not gonna work well for him either.
No, and yet Speed was right there. He could have easily helped Joker out, but instead decides to play follow the leader. Oh, and yeah, Joker needs in. Speed's not going to let him in. That's going to be an interesting conversation between both owner and driver.
Absolutely.
As now Freedom gets back in line right in front of Speed. It is all Roush right now between Dowling and Beam. But there you see the 66 of King Henry trying to ruin the Roush party. But you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, he won his way into the duels with the Clash last night by finishing top 5 or won a stage. So that's how he ends up here in Duel Race 1. And of course, we have more drivers from the Clash that'll be competing in Duel 2. That'll be coming up next here on our YouTube channel.
It will be 4 to go. Coming to the line.
4 to go right now.
Of stage 2.
Oh my Freedom!
Oh, Freedom. Little lag. Little lag.
Yeah, he's not free falling there, so just right now I think that these drivers are just remaining calm and patient. But the thing is though is that if you're Henry, you have no place to go. You have nobody behind you because if you make one move, you know that Big Jim's gonna help his teammates out.
Yeah, I mean, Henry's best interest is to just stay on the bottom. I mean, you're not going to lose any spots, and there's a lag spike.
Yep, I don't know from who, but 3 to go.
I believe that one was from Allen.
It could be, but you never know. But surprisingly enough, they're still going green at this time. And Jim, I don't know what he was trying to do, but it definitely baited both the 77 and the 48. Not much time left, especially when it comes to the stages, as they're getting ready to approach 2 to go this time by in stage number 2.
When do we see the move?
It's gonna have to be on the last lap. It's gonna have to be.
I believe these drivers will, but the 77's backing off really far.
I mean, the problem, I don't know about that. The problem is, I mean, it's 4 against 3, but here comes Speed on the outside. They're not getting any help. Freedom is going to go up there. Oh, contact being made from Killer.
That's not going to help.
No, it is not. The contact being made from the 95 Killer XL did not help, not one bit, as we are now approaching to the white flag here in stage number 2. And look at the top side. Oh! Henry made contact to the 34. Big Jim. Oh, wow. Jim's not going to be happy with that.
No.
Oh, my God.
Henry has a couple pushes.
Yeah, but
Allen's going to go to the top.
But here comes King Henry with the help of Speed Racer. Oh, my God.
Oh, he's trying to get under him. He's under him.
Speed is right there. They're going to go 3 wide. 2 wide now.
Allen in the wall. Joker through the middle.
Joker through the middle, and it's going to be Speed Racer that's going to win this stage. Wow. What a finish that was here in stage number 2. The contact between him between sorry for between King Henry and Big Jim. Oh my God! I need a drink of water on that one.
Yeah. We need a radioactive on that.
Yeah, I don't think you want any cursing or anything between both Henry and Jim. So if we had the FCC's beat, we would definitely would, for
I
sure.
guarantee you that King Henry does not make this final.
After that aggressive
I don't
move,
know if it was. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't see a reason for it to be intentional. But I just know how Jim is. King Henry will not be. It'll be speed and killer that make this race.
I mean, never know. I mean, it could be our leader here in the 77 of speed, as we are now in stage number 3, the third and final stage, to conclude this duel one. And of course, we'll see who advances if you are speed, if you are Henry, if you're Eric, or you never know what could happen. We'll see how things go. But right now, we're back in the way with the 77 speed racer. He's got his teammate and Joker right behind him. Freedom Flyer is going to be there. Oh my God, but he is swerving more than a drunk man on a highway.
Boy, Joker's gonna go to.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh my
All right.
God.
Bring the Joker blocking clips back. Bring them back.
You saw that too, did you?
Yep. Bring them back.
Oh my gosh.
Freedom's not fun. Freedom will not lift that time. Next time.
I don't know what I don't know about Freedom. Freedom is he's a great driver, he's a great person, but that move right there, I don't know. But either way though, as far as our transfers right now, Speed Racer would be the first one to move on to the Daytona 500. He's got such a great lead, but you never know what could happen between him and his teammate AlwaysJokerr. Speed is
And Killer would get that second spot right now as well.
Yeah, Killer, which he's currently inside of the top 5 at the moment, and he's got a couple of drivers right behind him. He's got King Henry, he's got Eric. So there's a couple of drivers that desperately need to pass Killer. But right now, if I was Speed, I would not be worried about anything. Just focus on running down to the bottom, see what you can do. Be careful with those runs, because you know that. I think Brody, you and I have talked about this before, that this needs to be a redemption season for Speed after what happened at Michigan between him and Jackson Altman. He needs to have some redemption to get back in there to show that he could be a winning driver.
Yeah, I think Speed does kind of need a resurgence in his career because, you know, the season before last, he was winning a bunch of races, but last season just, I don't know, he got into a slump or something, but last season was just not very kind for Speed. So,
not one bit.
hopefully he has an upward trend this season.
And I can really tell you is that, you know, I've known Speed ever since I met him, and he's got the confidence. He has the ability to do some incredible things. But, you know, I mean, it was just like a Drake moment. I mean, he had a lot of enemies. But right now, he needs to focus on getting those wins more than enemies. As you see the top side of the 38.95 of both Beam and the Killer XL working really good together on the top side. This is something we talked about earlier, Brody. That top side could be everyone's best friend if you have a great group amount of drivers, as we're seeing it here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to clear the first 3. The decision is about to be too late, whether they want to come back down in front of the 77. But that was a great move because I believe Joker was slowing down the pack and giving a little bit of room to Speed, just thinking that they couldn't make a run or trying something new, but it just didn't work out. Everyone went to the high side.
Everyone went to the high side indeed, and of course that's going to change things up if you're the transfers, because now it's going to be both Killer and Eric that'll be the ones moving on to the Daytona 500 next Thursday night. And of course, Bean, we've always talked about him. He's such an amazing driver, and I think that he's got a really great team, a really great team owner, and a great shot. Oh, the ghost with the contact of King Henry once again. Oh man,
I didn't personally see what happened with that one.
it looked like the 9 was swerving, and I saw the contact being made between him and King Henry. I could be wrong. Don't at me in the comment section. But this race is getting very dicey, especially with the coming laps of this race here in duel number 1. And I think if I was y'all, I'd be getting your popcorn ready because duel number 2 is going to be heated for sure. Because you'll see drivers like Masopes, you'll see Brody, you'll see JoJo, you'll see Heredia, who is now making his return back to the Cup Series. A lot more, and we'll talk about that coming up next in duel number 2.
All those drivers that were on the high side all cleared except for Mike G.
Mike G just needs to focus on trying to get to the back of the line and just try to stay with somebody. I think he's kind of hoping that somebody would make a move, but it doesn't seem that way. Ghost, I think he might have lagged out or DNF'd. No, he's still going. I see him.
Yeah, he got hit up into the wall and lost the draft. He's just running for positions now.
I mean, it'll be a tough break, especially if you're Ghost after what happened to you. I mean, he's still going to the 500 regardless, but a lot of speculation. See what can happen for him come next week. But meanwhile, your top 3, it is the 16 of Eric and the 95 of Killer.
And I want to remind you all, Killer and Eric are the 2 that would transfer right now. Henry and Speed, who are further back into the pack, they have to pass either of these drivers if they want to make it in.
Very well said, very well said. And of course, something that we talked about is that how strong that bottom line could be as long as you have the right driver right in front of you. Looks like they're trying to make some moves on the outside line. There you see Henry, there you see Joker, you see a lot of these drivers. And of course, they go back to the inside line. They know that if you try to make a move on the outside, it's going to be a little bit too early. So if I was you guys, I remain calm, cool, and collect.
I believe Jim is back there playing cat and mouse back there with the Hendrick boys because he's laying off from the pack, making sure that they don't get any crazy runs.
And I think you know a thing or two when it comes to Big Jim and the Hendrick Motorsport guys, is that they're not very kind to one another, especially when it comes to Big Jim. But Jim's okay with that. Jim's okay with that. And if you guys are watching this live with us right now, let us know what you guys are thinking about this race. Let us know who you want to see win this duel number 1, and who do you guys think will be the ones that will be transferring to the 500.
I believe it's 4 to go. I could be wrong on the number though.
Yeah, exactly, and of course,
Here we go. See a couple drivers to the outside. I got 4 up there now. That's not going to be enough.
Of course, shout out to Papo Musa, who is watching this and who is chatting with us down there in the comment section. Thank you, Papo. We definitely do appreciate your feedback on what you're saying. As we are now approaching maybe 3 to go this time by here in duel number 1.
Henry's going to dip. There goes all their momentum from the high side.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that you, out of all people, know that you can't go on a run, especially this early on. It's going to have to be between, 2, maybe the last lap is when we'll see these moves hit. So I predict somebody to start backing away from these drivers and try to pull a rocket ship move. I'm hearing some crunching. I don't know what's going on there. Looks like everyone's still the same, as we're now approaching the 2 to go.
Yeah, where does the move come from?
As we're riding along with Dallin here on his hood cam. Let's see what happens here, boys. Tiger NASCAR is right along with Dallin. I think you see the 95 is trying to make a move earlier on the 38, but it's a little bit too much. As we see the drivers are still forming a single file line, playing following the leader. Here comes Speed on the outside. Can he get some help? He does. He does get the 48. He gets the 66 of King Henry. But can somebody get up there and help these drivers out? Will that be the case as we now approach the white flag, this time by here in duel number 1?
Where does the move come from?
Oh boy.
If I'm one of them transfer drivers, I'm, on the front stretch, just
Oh, speed!
oh, that's gonna end his chances.
That's gonna end his chance, and he'll have to
Here
focus
comes
on.
Eric.
Here comes Eric on the outside, and it looks like Eric's gonna be the one.
And King Henry's getting a draft from them too.
But will he
Wow,
make
that was
it
a
there?
huge. Eric's gonna win.
Eric is gonna never know. As Eric.
Oh, well, here comes Mike through the middle
Mike?
with a huge run.
Oh, big wreck. As Eric moves on to the Daytona 500. But who is our second transfer? Is it Killer?
I believe it was Eric and Killer.
Oh my God! What a finish
Yeah, it
that
was.
was.
All right, so your finishing order. Let me pause the video. The finishing order is Eric in first, Tiger second, Smoke Z-Mog third, Alan fourth, Mike G fifth, Bean sixth, Killer seventh, Henry eighth, Freedom ninth, and Joker 10th.
Wow.
And I believe Jim was 11th, and I believe Ghost was 12th if there's no other drivers. There could be 13, I don't know.
Well, that was as fun and as exciting as that could be right there. Your winner and moving on to the Daytona 500 is going to be always Eric.
Yep, Eric and Killer will move on, and Eric takes duel number 1. I mean, we didn't see him all night. That was an amazing move, and I really didn't see the move coming from him.
Man, that was very exciting. That was just as chaotic as it can be. What a great start to our duels here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we are now getting ready to have our duel 2 coming up here. I don't think we have enough time to get a chance to talk to Eric because, Brody, what time do y'all get set up?
I believe we don't start till 8:30.
8:30, so never mind. So I guess if you want to, go ahead and let's get Eric in here. Let's get Killer in here.
Yeah.
Let's get these boys in here and let's have a nice little chat with them. As I'm trying to find Eric's number real quick in the 16.
I'll add Eric, Tiger, and Z-Mog, and
Man.
if I can find any of their names.
And Speed is not too happy with what happened between him and Freedom Flyer. Oh my, yeah.
Okay, so Tiger and Eric are already confirmed. Like, already added to the party.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and get Eric in here.
Killer.
Yeah, Killer.
Killer's already in the party.
Man, what a finish that was. That was really awesome stuff. This kid goes from racing at the Clash to racing his way in. And speaking of that kid, let's go ahead and get a chance to talk to our Duel 1 race winner himself, Mr. Always Eric. Eric, how are you doing? And congratulations.
I'm doing pretty good. That could have been a stupid move at the end because I didn't want. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I don't care. I didn't want the other two in. To be honest, if they hear that, that's cool. But I just wanted me and Frank in. That almost screwed Frank pretty bad because he almost didn't make it off of that. But I feel pretty good about myself. Starting on pole.
I mean, you get a chance to start on pole, and like I said before, I mean, you would much rather have you and Killer instead of Speed and King Henry, and it goes to show on how much you trust in Killer. And so, talk about this though. You went from the Clash to the Duel, and now going to the 500. How does that make you feel right now?
makes me feel pretty good. I was last in the class, first in the duels. I'm gonna be dead center in the Daytona 500, so that's how it's gonna work out.
And of course, I'm going to head and bring it on over to your team owner, Mr. Brody himself. Brody, take it away.
Yeah, great job tonight. We didn't see a whole lot of you. I kind of, this is gonna sound like a not good team owner, but I kind of wrote you off, and I didn't think you had any help, to really work through the whole pack. But you got up there, and I didn't think you had any friends to maybe go to the lead, but you made a move on the outside and you got the lead, and but I'm so proud of you right now. I mean, well, you're gonna be starting on the pole for the 500. How's that make you feel for your confidence heading into the 500? You're not even a full-time Cup driver anymore.
Yeah, just my whole goal is just to stay on the bottom all race. If I fall back, that's just me getting moved out of the way or me hitting the apron. That's on me. But if I just stay on the bottom, I should have a good chance at being up there, maybe continue for the win.
Absolutely, and
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
glad that I have another teammate for the 500.
I mean, you're definitely going to need as much help as you can get when it comes to the 500. Eric, before I let you go, congratulations. Successful night for you, and I wish you the best of luck at the 500 next week.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said, congratulations to Eric on winning the dual one race. He's going to be starting on pole, but the question is, who's going to be joining him on the outside? We'll figure that out. As far as more drivers are going to be competing their way to the Daytona 500 for next week's race. Brody, take us your thoughts on what we saw tonight before we move on to duel two.
Well, I was definitely taking a whole lot of notes, kind of noticing what these drivers did. Early on in the race, I really didn't think anyone could go and make it to high side work, but by the end of the race, we're proven wrong, and I believe it's kind of a little bit to do with the tire wear. Uh, as the cars slow down, that tops really starts to come in, and I took a whole bunch of notes about that, about to use a whole bunch of that in Duel 2, and hopefully we get the same result as Eric.
Hey, I wish you the best of luck. And by the way, if you're watching this live right now, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, because coming up next, it is Duel 2 from here in the Hennessy booth. I'll have Tiger NASCAR, Joker, and myself will be in the booth tonight, so yeah, make sure you guys tune in for that. But hey, from all of us here, Brody, thank you so much for a great time as it was. Well, we will see you at your second duel coming up next. But hey, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys then. Oh, hang on a second. Where's the breakfast?